today.
3 days after the most amazing result of the season, Knowsley Road stages the rematch. St Helens meet Warrington again, hoping for a repeat of Thursday night's 80-0 victory, while Warrington are out to restore some pride. There was no hint of what was to come on Thursday when Warrington took on Wigan on New Year's Day. They competed with the champions all the way, but in the Regal semi-final, Warrington were woeful. It was a match that would have dramatic repercussions. The defeat was simply too much for Brian Johnson's pride and proved the end of the road for the game's longest-serving coach.
If I could try to be philosophical about it, you know, I originally came here as a coach 7 years ago. I've had a long innings, you know, far longer than the average coach's lifespan. And I came here because I felt I had something to offer the club. And I guess in some ways, my sacrifices the last offer I can make.
Johnson's deputy, Welsh national coach Clive Griffiths, took control of training yesterday, and he has until the end of the season to stake his claim for the job on a permanent basis.
It's an ambition of mine, obviously, and I think it's an ambition of any coach to become the #1 of any club. And that hasn't changed over the years. It's an opportunity. We've got 4 league games left and the Challenge Cup. And let's hope that the club at the end of it appoint me.
It's Griffith's task now to get Warrington back on the rails, and to those heady days of April 1994, when Warrington had all their stars who took them to within points difference of the league title. So to the men who will compete round 2 of this week's Saints-Warrington battle, fullbacks Danny Arnold and Lee Penny. Wings, it's Joey Hayes, 20 last Thursday, what a party he must have had, and Mark Forster. Andy Hay comes in and he'll face the Tongan Matiaki Mafi on his debut. In the centre, Andy Northey, a hat-trick on Thursday, and it's Andy Courier. Welshman Scott Gibbs and the Tongan Salisi Finau, who had such a great battle with Wigan's Inga the Winger on New Year's Day. Standoff, Carl Hammond, and International Player of the Year, Yestin Harris. Scrum half, Bobby Goulding, unstoppable on Thursday, but Mike Ford has to get him on the back foot today. Up front, it's Apollo Perolini and Mark Jones, while it's Ian Pickavance up against Mark Hilton. The hookers, Kieran Cunningham and John Hoff, 2 19-year-olds of great promise. Second row, Simon Booth and Ian Knott. And 1 try for 50 in the British game for Vila Matautia up against a wounded new Warrington skipper, Paul Cullen. And at loose forward, it's Phil Vivers, while Warrington will be delighted that Kelly Shelford is fit again. His inclusion came too late for Brian Johnson, so the men in charge today, Cocker-Hoop, Eric Hughes and Clive Griffiths. And on the bench for Saints, it's Phil Waring, Kevin O'Loughlin, Brian Capewell and Paul Matheson, Capewell on his debut, and for Warrington, Gary Chambers, Paul Barrow, Andy Bennett and John Thursfield. Match referee today is David Campbell, just checking with his touch judges. It's going to be St Helens who will get this game underway, and Bobby Goulding starts what should be for Warrington the revenge match. Cullen with the first drive, and nobody was wounded more than Paul Cullen after the 80-0 defeat here on Thursday night in the semi-final of the Regal Trophy. It was his first match as club captain. Mark Hilton with that drive. John Hoff is the dummy half. Here's big Mark Jones. He takes Warrington up towards the halfway line. Hoff is there again. Shelford back in the side, and the referee has a look at the touch judge. That's a forward pass.
Yep, no doubt about it either. John Hoff just delayed the pass a little bit. Just a fraction there. The Saints crowd quite happy to remind the referee, David Campbell, that it was just a fraction forward.
The scrum fed by Goulding. He gets the possession back, finds Hammond, and here is Scott Gibbs. Good tackle on the Welshman by his Welsh international colleague, Mark Jones. Cunningham is the dummy half, and here's Matautia. He unloads the pass and finds Northey. Northey is tracked all the way. This is Joey Hayes, 10 metres inside the Warrington half. Goulding, he gets the pass away to Pickavance. Pickavance is grounded by Cullen, looking for a penalty. Referee Campbell unimpressed. Hammond finds Matautia again. Good tackling by Hilton. And over the top came Shelford. Cunningham. Goulding will hoist the high kick. A tester here for Penny, and also for the winger out there, Maffey. This is his first touch in the big lead.
Tremendous take by the winger there. It was a great kick from Bobby Goulding. It looked as though the two Warrington players were going to make a right meal of it. But tremendous work there by Maffey, and also taken on by Lee Penny there.
This is Mike Ford, scrum half for Warrington. Brian Johnson's last major signing for the club. Shelford, he gets the pass out wide. That is Ian Knott. Shelford's in at dummy half. He is Yestin Harris. Harris taking them on up the middle. What a start for Warrington. Exactly what they wanted after the debacle here on Thursday. Harris just cut through for his 10th try of the season.
It's all about pride, and Warrington needed plenty of it, but also they needed skills, and there's none better than the standoff Yestin Harris. He threw the dummy through there. The gap opened up quite easily. Not the best attempted defence there. Just stood around. You could see the second rower, Simon Booth, really did take that dummy so easy. An easy passageway, but he has got all the skills, this kid. Nothing they could do to stop that guy. Matautier barely got fingertips to him. What a start to the Warrington side. They really needed that. 80-0. They lost to St. Helens on Thursday. They want to claw something back, and they've done that quickly.
And Yestin Harris has picked up the tip from Wigan about those breathe easies over the nose. But he hasn't picked up much in terms of kicking the goal. That was not the best kick from Yestin Harris, but a super start for Warrington and for Harris on this revenge mission.
There you see they've been too slow to close up the gap. They just held back a fraction, and it was enough there. Just fended off the effort by Matautier, and Harris in for a super try.
So it's Warrington, of course, who under the new rules restart the scoring side. St. Helens driving the ball back in at them. That's Andy Northey. He picks up himself and plays the ball to little Joey Hayes. Hilton, by the way, has gone off. He was injured, and he's in the blood bin, so Gary Chambers has come on. And someone else injured now is Ian Pickavance. You might have heard the groan as he went down.
Ankle's gone underneath. The right ankle, you could see there from the tackle. Mark Jones's weight. Watch it go underneath him. Oh, he is in a lot of pain. Ian Pickavance there, right underneath. Just one of those incidents that do occur. Oh, that is painful. The big prop forward, being a great servant to this club. Well, he's going to try to continue on.
He's limping his way off now, and they're going to bring on Paul Matheson for him, St. Helens, by the looks of things. Meanwhile, play continues with Cunningham. That's a lovely run from Kieran Cunningham. Just ankle tap to the last moment. Goulding will try and keep the momentum going. Lovely ball to Vivas. He's through the gap. Support is there from Booth. Booth gets the pass away to Arnold. And Warrington funnel back and defend, and a bit of a schmozzle going on between Lee Penny and Simon Booth in the background.
Bit of fisticuffs there, the full-back. And second rower, Booth. Referee David Campbell calling them to him. A few words of wisdom. He's telling them just to calm things down. So they don't want anything like that anymore. Let's get on with the game of football.
Well, obviously there's a lot of feeling brought forward into this match from both these sides, in particular Warrington, from that defeat on Thursday night by 80 points to 0 that cost their coach Brian Johnson his job. This is Chambers on for Mark Hilton, tossed the dummy half, and Shelford. Good ball to Harris, but he was thumped immediately by Matautier. Recovers his composure though, keeps the movement going, finds Hoff, and this is Finau.
Bit of a hospital pass there. You can see Matautier just launched himself into Harris. But the pass from Shelford was delayed so much, could have been dangerous.
That's nice hands from the second row forward, Ian Knott. But a great tackle coming in on him in the end from Cunningham, Ford and Harris. Harris stabs it through. A chase here for Mark Forster. But the St Helens winger, Andy Haig, is there. And he diffuses any danger.
A nice kick through by Euston Harris and a good chase as well. Well, it's a lot better defence than what was witnessed on Thursday. Did well to just bring that ball back in there, did Andy Haig. But that is great defence from Warrington. It was sadly lacking on Thursday night.
Mark Jones in first. That's terrific defence from Warrington. Nowhere for Andy Haig to go whatsoever. Matheson with the run, but he slipped. And that's the last tackle. And Warrington restricting St Helens to 17 metres progress. And not the best kick downfield. Straight into the arms of Maffey. Good chase though. Perolini there. Matautia there. And Maffey dumped to the ground.
Big smile on the winger there from Maffey, the winger. He really did get crunched that time. But it's excellent play from Warrington.
Shelford. Currier had overrun it. Referee will bring that back for the knock-on. But it's important, Steve-O, that Shelford is back in this Warrington side.
Well, he makes them tick, doesn't he? Not only in attack, but in defence. It wasn't the best pass there to the centre, Andy Currier. But he really is a very experienced player. So is that fella, Andy Currier, who came up with the mistake. Wasn't the best pass, though.
St Helens in possession. That's Scott Gibbs. But certainly Warrington have tightened up on defence after Thursday. But they've been caught offside.
Well, all the effort there from Gary Chambers for a big hit, but to no avail. His players on the left-hand side of him are well and truly offside. He was one of them too. A little bit anxious there. Well, we expected it was going to be a tough encounter. A lot of pride. Warrington had to claw back.
Good tackling by Cullen on his opposite number, Booth. Here's Vivers. Phil Vivers playing loose forward today. He's played in every jersey for this St Helens club, 1 to 13. Hammond, Matautia. Good run from Matautia, great strength. Cunningham keeps the movement going. This is Hammond, a gap for Hammond to exploit. It's quickly closed down by Penny. Cunningham, the dummy half, going down the blind side. Oh, and a swinging arm there from Finau.
The centre really swinging arm. Talisi Finau. Tiki Maffey had been sucked into it, and there you could see it. And his opposite number, Andy Northey. Was it the open arm? By the way, it's a forearm swinging round. Lee Penny didn't miss either. Well, Northey in the wars. A report to David Campbell. I think you'll find that this will be a penalty going to St Helens. With the swinging arm.
And he's calling Northey to him, and he wants a word with Lee Penny as well. The man who swung the arm, Matiaki Maffey, he is not being spoken to. And David Campbell is now having a word with Mike Ford.
There you see Penny and trying to get the knees across. Well, we said they were going to be fired up.
Mike
we
Ford
can do without that.
Because he tackled a man without the ball.
That was in the back play.
So it's a penalty to St Helens. They take the short one. Ford is in the sin bin. And here now is Booth. And another high one from Shelford. Well, there is a lot of ill feeling in this match. And referee David Campbell is going to struggle to keep control.
That was silly from Kelly Shelford. We'd only just had a stoppage in play where the referee Campbell had said calm things down. Shelford gets a big hit. The swinging left arm. Bobby Goulding runs straight up to the referee David Campbell. Campbell saying, I don't want to hear anything from you. I'm the boss, and rightly so. But we can do without that. That was stupid play by Kelly Shelford. Well, he's lucky to get away with that. Sometimes it really does confuse the fans and the viewers, I'm sure. We've seen Mike Ford sent to the sin bin because he tackled a player without the football. We see a player, Kelly Shelford, swing, nearly knock a guy's head off, and he just gets a ticking off.
Well, I think David Campbell is very much concerned that Bobby Goulding was having discussions with him about the incident, and he has told Bobby Goulding and he has told the St Helens coaching staff that he, David Campbell, is the referee and he will stand no back-chatting. But at the end of it all, Goulding has the chance to get St Helens on the scoreboard with this penalty. And he duly does exactly that. 2 points for Goulding, 2 points for St Helens, but they still trail 4-2. But David Campbell has got a difficult job on his hands.
Well, I'm sure he realised that. There you can see Mike Ford just pushing the man out of the way. Well, I'm not so sure that that indicates that it would be tackle. Just wanted to get... He held on to him for a few seconds, perhaps. But I've seen worse than that. Well, either way, David Campbell, as Eddie said, has got a pretty tough encounter on his hands, but he knew that before the game. Any side coming in after a big loss, they want to prove a point.
Mike Ford on the bench at the moment in the sin bin, watching here. As Knott plays the ball to John Huff. And John Huff with a nice little run up to halfway, but the danger is snuffed out by Phil Vevers. Shelford gets it to Chambers. Perolini there, Matheson there, Matautia there as well. It's the last tackle for Warrington. They've made 53 metres, and Shelford with a kick over the top under pressure from Booth. Danny Arnold's there. He takes it very confidently. And what a start to Danny Arnold's professional career this season. He's only 18.
Did very well there. Very cool, calm and collected. Interference at the play of the ball. He wouldn't let go of him. You see, the referee had already called held. For those who are new to our game, once the referee has shouted held, you can't continue on with the would-be tackle, as you saw there from Mike Jones.
He was saying, though, Steve-O, he didn't hear the referee shout. Anyway, St Helens are back in possession. And that's a lovely ball from Vevers to Hammond. It keeps it alive. Matautia. Remarkably, St Helens ended a 3-match losing sequence when they won on Thursday. Murphy under pressure from Finau. Great tackle.
Finau was very high again. It was a near suicide pass in the instance. You could see that Northey didn't want anything of it. He knew that the centre was coming towards him. It was high. Finau went crack. That is a bad one. No hesitation from the touch judge. And still no cards shown. Well, a big grin from the centre. But they'll have to be very careful, these guys.
Huge penalty count going against Warrington at the moment. 5-0. Matautia with a strong run, halted by first Harris, then Shelford. But the ball is kept alive. This is Gibbs. And look at the possession that St Helens are enjoying because of that big penalty count in their favour. Lovely ball from Goulding, but as soon as Northey reached that ball, he was tackled.
Good tackle from Murphy. It come in off the wing. That really is crunch time. Oh, Andy Northey. He's in the wars already in the first 15 minutes. Definitely knocked on. It's got to be a head and feed, but what a great tackle from Murphy. They're enjoying this. I don't know about Andy Northey. He's in the wars, good and proper.
Finau with a strong run. Hammond stood his ground. Vevers came in and helped out. Warrington coming into this match, of course, on the back of that defeat on Thursday. It was their worst ever defeat in the history of the club. Hoff is the dummy half, and here now is Mark Jones. Making good progress to Jones before he's grounded. Matheson was there, so too was second row Booth. Harris, another little gap opens for Harris, but Booth followed him all the way. Last one there for Warrington. Hoff left-footed over the top into the corner. It had a little too much behind it, but Joey Hayes taking the gamble and running it out.
Good kick and chase there. Once again, Mappy equal to the task. He's eager for work. Another good tackle.
And another penalty goes against the Warrington man for interference in the tackle. Meanwhile, Warrington welcome back Mark Hilton out of the blood bin.
Well, all that good work just thrown away just for that silly, over-enthusiastic attempt to keep him down. But I'm sure that the St. Helens coach, Eric Hughes, will be far from impressed with the way that his players are getting their defence sorted out. They're not moving forward.
Lovely ball that from Goulding to Matautia. Matautia trying to take on Penny, and he runs over him like a steamroller. Matautia with all the strength in the world, and he even had the strength to hold off Mark Forster and score. Goulding unlocked the door for Matautia, and then Matautia just kept running and running and running over the top of the Warrington defence. Injured in the process, but a superb try from Vila Matautia, the Western Samoan.
Well, they may not be moving forwards in defence, but they sure are in attack. Beautiful pass from Bobby Goulding. Just on the slip on the inside. You see how he dragged across. Jones failed to make the gap, but what on earth was Lee Penny trying to do here? Any fullback worth his salt against a forward should have allowed him the opportunity to try to beat him on the outside. Penny just lost his marbles. It was a beautiful inside pass. Jones was too slow. He didn't slide across enough, but you don't go high like that. The fullback should have offered him the option to go towards the corner. Penny would have had the speed. So maybe the cover defence would have been there, but let's not take anything away from Matautia. The great run.
And Goulding from bang in front adds the extras. St. Helens hit the lead. And Matautia, he has got his arm almost in a sling over there, but he is disappearing for the time being. But what a run, Steve-O.
Oh, tremendous run there. It was a planned move. Inside pass from Bobby Goulding. They could see that the second marker, which was Mark Jones, the prop, was very slow to move in. It's all about taking your opportunities. It's a great run and great finish, but I'm afraid you have to point the finger at the fullback Lee Penny for going high.
Well, Matautia injured, so Kevin O'Loughlin comes on, and he's definitely damaged the shoulder, Matautia. And don't forget, St. Helens have a fairly important date with Wigan in the Regal Trophy final next weekend. That could be costly, that try. But here at Nosey Road, it's 8-4, the Saints. Harris. Shelford. Cullen overran it. St. Helens have the ball back.
They've got to take their opportunities. They're finding the gaps. Shelford and Yistin Harris, they're combining well, but I'm afraid they're frittering the chances away over the top of Cullen there. That was early in the tackle count.
Oh, lovely play from Scott Gibbs. Great attack this from Gibbs. He gets the pass to Andy Haig, who will not be stopped. And the Saints are at it again here. Scott Gibbs, he created that. And Andy Haig finished it right underneath the black dot.
Sheer skill from the Welshman. Scott Gibbs, the centre. The balance there from a standing start. He explodes, he throws the dummy, and away he goes. Look at the little jink on the inside. The pass is perfect. Andy Haig. Oh, that is a great try. Well, the Saints are running hot in the space of 2 minutes. They've taken control of this game. He threw the dummy across, and again they were caught. Oh, that is a wonderful try. Look at that, standing start. There was just nothing that Mark Hilton could do about it. Explosive stuff. Beautiful balance there. And as all wingmen should do, back on the inside in good support. Well played.
Andy Haig with the try. Tremendous effort. And Bobby Goulding now trotting back to restart the match, because just a few seconds ago Goulding added the extras. And the Saints with 2 tries in 3 minutes, 14-4. Well, Paul Cullen wounded on Thursday, puffing the cheeks out, but losing the ball in the tackle on that occasion, and that's a bad blunder from the Warrington skipper.
You can see that the elbow hit the ground. He lost control of it there. It was play on. At least Warrington did force the scrum. But a purple patch by the Saints side. 2 tremendous tries.
Yes, they're running very hot indeed, and the message will be going out to Wigan for next week's final that St Helens will fancy their chances. Running like this is the substitute O'Loughlin, and again St Helens now within 5 metres of the line. Perellini! Oh, so close. 4 men to bring him down. Oh, a little knock-on. John Hoff appealing as Cunningham went for the try, and David Campbell agrees.
It was there as well. Lee Penny, you could see, was left stranded on the whitewash. The hooker, Cunningham, realising they were just holding back a little bit too much.
Look at Goulding after Mike Ford, like a terrier after a bone.
Had a few words to say to Ford as well.
Harris driven into the ground by the tackle from Gibbs. Steve, there was much talk about St Helens at the start of the season and the fact that they would rival Wigan for the championship. Well, they have the chance to make a point next weekend, but it's not a happy start for Clive Griffiths so far.
Not many smiles from the Welsh coach, and of course the new Warrington coach now. But they've got to stick to their game plan. They've still got the skills out there.
And Kelly Shelford leading the way. He gets the pass inside. Ford is there in support, Mike Ford.
No support though. Ford was left stranded then.
Maffei, the dummy half, he finds Harris. Oh, and Courier makes a meal of it. And Saints have it back, and here goes Gibbs. Now Andy Haig. Here's Danny Arnold. It's a race. It's great tackling back by the second rower, Ian Knott. Can't play it forward, of course.
He allowed the advantage. It was not forthcoming.
And someone's in the bin.
He's got to go for that. Professional foul.
Courier will be in the bin. Well, that's the problem with this new rule. The players can't play it forward. They have to play it back. And players coming back like Courier, blatantly offside.
Never made any attempt. And there you saw he had a kick at the football. You're not allowed to do that with a new ruling. Well, talk about being your own worst enemy. It was Courier that made a meal of the chance way down on the St Helens quarter. They've just sent him away from the bench. He's not allowed to sit in there. And he's having a word, I think. Look at that beautiful tackle. But he held him down. The second rower, Ian Knott, that was the culprit there. But then you saw Courier come in and deliberately make no attempt to mark the man.
Yes, and Courier is the man that we thought was sin-binned, and Courier went to the bench. The referee has since called him back, and it's Ian Knott now who takes a 10-minute spell out of this game. It's Knott who's in the sin bin, and not Courier, as we all thought, and Courier himself went to the sin bin also.
Well, the incident, he could have sent them both, actually. It was Ian Knott that made the desperation tackle, but you could see that he didn't allow him to get up and play the ball. But then we saw Courier striking at the football. And according to the new rules, that is also a professional foul.
As Gary Schofield found to his cost yesterday in the semi-final, he was sin-binned for that. Goulding tries to drift the ball over the bar, misses. So his first miss, Bobby Goulding.
Well, this is a great cover tackle. It really was good play by the second rower, Ian Knott. Now you'll see there that it just allows the fullback no chance to get up and play the ball. That is the reason by there. But you can see Courier not standing square. Danny Arnold couldn't get on with the game. He wanted to. There, but he holds him back. Now that's professional foul, and so is that from Courier.
But it's the second Warrington man in the sin bin, and it could have been the third. As it is, it's Knott who is taking 10 minutes, and St Helens are running riot. Andy Haig, tackled by Cullen. Gibbs, dummy half to Goulding, to Hammond. Northey couldn't take it in. Referee will bring that back for the knock-on. Remember, Steve, the likes of Newlove, Hunt and Tommy Martin, long-term injuries here at St Helens.
They're playing hot at the Saints. And psychologically, it must be working hard on the Warrington players' minds. On Thursday, it was a debacle. But you've got to feel a little bit sorry for the centre, Andy Northey. Some of the passes that they've just delayed. And this guy, this winger, Matiki Murphy, it's like an Exocet missile coming at them.
Harris to Penny. Oh, dear, dear, dear. That's on the first tackle. That's criminal.
You'll see that the fullback takes a look at the man coming towards him. They have just lost all their confidence. It was a good opening 10 minutes from the Warrington side, but I'm afraid they've just lost their way.
Carl Hammond, the runner was Northey. He gets through the tackle from Courier this time, gets the pass out to Hammond, and Hayes will score. Joey Hayes with the try. His birthday on Thursday. What a week it has been for 20-year-old Joey Hayes.
Deja vu, Warrington. They will be thinking, what on earth is coming next? Beautiful run around, but I'm afraid there Andy Courier made a real meal of trying to tackle. Good service and a good finish there from the winger Joey Hayes. Beautiful inside pass there from Hammond, and support again from Hammond. That is eager, and that is a great try. But I'm afraid we must point the finger at Andy Courier. His first attempt in the first place to try to get down the centre, Andy Northey, was absolutely woeful. But you can't take away the skill from that man. Great finish.
Well, Joey Hayes, one of the players who didn't score on Thursday, despite the fact that Saints ran in 14 tries. But Bobby Goulding registered the 1,000th career point for himself, and he had a hand in 10 of the tries on Thursday, kicking a career best 12 goals. Well, he's got 3 this afternoon, and he, I think, is going to have 4. Goulding is in irresistible form again, as are the Saints. It's 20 points to 4. Well, Bobby Goulding now jogs back to the centre line to restart this match. Coming up to half an hour gone, and St Helens have taken a stranglehold on the game. Cullen with the run, keeps hold on the first tackle, and claiming to David Campbell that as he tried to regain his feet, they had another snap at him, St Helens, but Campbell unimpressed by the argument. Here's Hilton now. Little short right hook went in then from O'Loughlin.
It's going to take a lot of courage from this Warrington side now. We've got to look towards the experience of Paul Cullen and Mike Ford to lead by example. They cannot afford to throw the towel in. It was like Doom City when I was in Warrington yesterday. They just are so shocked in the town over what occurred on Thursday night. They can ill afford to have another drubbing here today.
That's a better kick from Mike Ford, though, to turn the St Helens tide a little.
That's where the experience comes in. He really does have to lead by example. Got to get a grip of this. They're not out of it yet. 16 points may seem a lot to drag back, but a quick try, and they're back in this game.
Well, they had a great start, didn't they, when Harris shot over for the try early, and it looked like they put the hangover well and truly behind them, but St Helens in this mood, anything is possible.
You're right, it was Saints' defence that was very slack. Now it's Warrington's.
Here's Andy Haig again. Forster went high, but the referee said it was on the shoulder. Play on. Cunningham will do just that. Where's the defence? Courier makes a snatch at him and misses, and eventually Penny gets to Cunningham.
Tremendous skills there from the hooker, Kieran Cunningham.
But this Warrington defence, Steve-O, is getting ripped to pieces.
Awful. They've got to take off Andy Courier. I'm afraid he's leaving gaps all over the place. And it was well spotted there by Kieran Cunningham.
Remember, of course, they're down to 12 men, Warrington. They do still have Ian Knott in the sin bin, but Courier made a a grab at the shirt of Cunningham and got nowhere.
They've got to start going low, and not surprisingly, he's ringing the changes, Clive Griffiths.
Yes, John Thursfield is poised to come on, and I believe it's John Hoff who is coming off. But not yet, the change hasn't yet been made. Well, 32 minutes gone, and for 10 minutes when Mike Ford was in the bin, and ever since Ian Knott has been in the bin, Warrington have played with 12 men. It's remarkable, really, when you think that many people were tipping Warrington as the team to take over from Wigan. But over the past week, things have gone horribly wrong. That's a great tackle by Carl Hammond on Mark Forster.
Great cover defence. Forster set sail. There you see Hammond coming away, well helped by Simon Booth, the second rower. But he's working hard, is Carl Hammond. A lot of people think perhaps he's not the quickest number 6 in the game, but he works very hard. That was great cover defence.
Warrington have made their change, hooker for hooker. Here's Danny Arnold. That's a good tackle from Harris. But Steve-O, where does Clive Griffiths get the magic ingredient and get the confidence running back through this Warrington team? Because the talent is there.
Well, that was silly from Paul Cullen there. He's losing his marbles. He's succeeded at the tackle. He came in late and he tried to get the knee across. Sheer frustration there. You can do without that. No, it hasn't been the best. And once again, Andy Northey. Well, I'll be surprised if Andy Northey finishes this game. He's black and blue already.
He's taken some hammer in the opening 33.5 minutes. But Warrington's discipline has got to be questioned. The penalty count now is 8-0 in St Helens' favour.
The difference between controlled aggression, that's what they needed, and they showed it in the first 10-15 minutes. As soon as they gave away those silly penalties and the sin bins, Saints are back in it.
Oh, everything's coming off for the Saints and Hammond. Oh, it was a lovely ball over the shoulder for Hayes. The referee, though, has seen something else, and he's calling Cullen to him, and surely Cullen's not in the bin. He's off. It's not Cullen. It's Finau, Salesi Finau. He goes off the field. Too much aggression, something obviously in back play.
Well, he took him out, that's all, and I really couldn't see the extent of it, but there was no doubt in the mind of David Campbell. There you see, that's it, the swinging right arm. Joey Hayes caught it fair and square in the face. Here it comes, crack. Well, he didn't have any hesitation. They've been running very close to the wire with a few of these head-eye tackles, and they've paid the price. They are looking down the barrel of a very, very big scorer, Warrington again.
Well, Finau, substitute on Thursday. He had a sensational tussle, you may remember, with Vainga Twigamala on New Year's Day. But his tussle with St Helens today has come to an abrupt halt. And Goulding adds another 2 points. And Steve-O, the wheels have dropped off for Warrington.
Sure have, but I've got to give credit to David Campbell for this. Swinging arm here, crunch. Intent was there. Maybe didn't make the right contact, perhaps, that Finau would have liked. But I think that is very, very good refereeing from David Campbell. He has made it extremely clear to everyone left on this park that he is going to start flashing the red card. Let's get on with the game of rugby league football. That's what he's telling them. Let's hope that the players take heed.
Well, Ian Knott is back out of the sin bin for Warrington, but they are still down now to 12 men and will be throughout the rest of this match. Salesi Finau sent off. And they're in all sorts of trouble. Jones. Good tackling, though, by Hammond and Booth. Harris, Shelford. Harris again. Warrington have stopped running to support him. They're down a blind alley. They need words of wisdom from Clive Griffiths quickly. The kick from Ford just caught the right side of the line.
Did well there,
Shy
Ford.
off the terraces, but Ford had no doubts.
Yes, he was in a lot of pressure there. Bobby Goulding bearing down upon him. He knows that he has got a big job ahead. Get back into this game. They are desperate for a try. Now, Warrington are a team that have been famous for set moves. We get to see one today, but whatever they have in their repertoire, they really should unfold it now.
St Helens have lost twice all season at home. Only Wigan and Leeds have beaten them here. They're ahead on the scoreboard and ahead in terms of possession also. These are good days to be St Helens supporter. Queues around the ground this morning for tickets for the final. Cunningham. Perellini. Grounded just on the halfway line. 34 metres made by the Saints on that set of 6. That's a much better defensive effort from Warrington. Goulding's kick, though, forces Mark Forster to pick it up and run the ball back, and Booth is there, and so too was Andy Haig.
Good kick and chase there. Bobby Goulding making sure that the ball wasn't kicked too hard, kept in the field of play. He's marshalling his side very well indeed. Apart from the first 10, 15 minutes perhaps, when their defence was a bit at sea, well, they've sorted all that out.
Here's Mark Hilton. Good run from the prop forward, but he's on his own. Great tackle from Goulding on the big man. Goulding running around like a man possessed. This is Courier. Tackled there by Gibbs, not completed. Goulding's after him. Goulding and Hammond, the two men who closed down on Andy Courier. Ford, Harris. Goulding again. He's playing on the top of his form.
Getting through a lot of work. Sweeping position. Goulding involved in the 3 tackles.
The kick ahead. It bounces kindly for Maffey. But the referee will pull it back, all that, for a knock-on.
Maffey trying to keep the ball alive there. He's in heavy traffic.
And it's a knock-on with Warrington going to get the head and feet. There's the knock-on from Hayes.
Yep, Joey Hayes made a deliberate attempt to get at that football. Well, if ever Warrington needed a try in the dying seconds.
Well, what would Warrington give for a try here? Penny. If anyone can score, he might be able to. 15 tries so far this season. And this is an opportunity for Warrington in the last minute. Oh, but it isn't an opportunity when Thursfield misses it.
What a mistake. If ever they needed to get points on the board, that was it. And then they just lost their composure. Not only that, they just stood around and allowed Carl Hammond all the time in the world to get up that possession.
And now they've conceded yet another penalty. Mike Ford penalised by the referee. Interference at the play of the ball.
Well, this is silly play. It really is just stupidity on their part. They're losing their composure. Well, we knew it was going to be tough for the Warrington side, especially with the new coach, Clive Griffiths. But he knows that he's got a lot of work to do. It's all up in the minds, I'm afraid. We've seen the skill all this season from Warrington. They can produce the goods, but they've got to get their brains sorted out.
And that was round the collar on the substitute Kevin O'Loughlin.
Good positioning by Campbell.
And that was his decision, by the way, not mine.
He saw it quite clear.
Goulding out the back door to Perellini. Booth is there. He has support from Arnold. Arnold will get there. And Danny Arnold, this remarkable young talent they've unearthed in St Helens. The fairy tale goes on and on. That's his 8th try of this season.
Tremendous stuff. Inside pass from Bobby Goulding. You see how he swung around there. Great play by Perellini. But this kid really has come on, hasn't he? Simon Booth. Good fullback linking through into the 3-quarter line. Danny Arnold, he gets his just reward, the 4 points. Notice how Goulding will draw the attack to him. Spinning it round there, you see he's committed, and once the break is made, the support play is superb. Good positioning by the fullback, Danny Arnold.
Well, Danny Arnold, he began Thursday's route with a 40-metre solo try, and a second later in the game, that's his third in 3 days. Bobby Goulding, I think, is enjoying every minute of this. Adds the extras almost casually. 6 kicks for Goulding, a career best 12 on Thursday, and Saints with a big lead as we approach half-time. But what an opening season in this centenary campaign for Danny Arnold, Steve-O.
Tremendous youngster. He really has slotted in well into the Saints outfit. There's nothing better in rugby league than to see a fullback chiming through, making real effort to get up into the attack. And they're often rewarded, and he certainly was. That was a great try. Well thought out from the start from Bobby Goulding and the prop forward, Perolini.
Well, it was 36-0 at half-time on Thursday. It's 28-4 at the moment. Referee says play on as Harris gets possession back for Warrington, gives it to Jones. Shelford. Oh, Cullen overran that. The referee will pull them back for the knock-on. It doesn't have to hit the floor, as we've been saying all season.
Just lost control of it there. You see, Cullen never had control of the football, despite that the ball was picked up by Kelly Shelford. David Campbell didn't give the offside, even though that Shelford was just fractionally in front. It was an accidental one. That's why the scrum's been formed. Well, they look shell-shocked, don't they, Eddie, this Warrington outfit?
They'll be glad to get off the field at half-time.
Yep.
And we've already had 4 minutes of stoppage time in this first half. Ooh, Scott Gibson, an aggressive run. Really knocked the head off Thursfield. Cunningham.
He's had a great season, hasn't he? What a find. The young hooker, Kieran Cunningham. His runs from dummy half, explosive at times.
Goulding with the kick, a race here for Hayes. Hayes has got the legs. Oh, it would have come off a brilliant try had Hayes managed to take that ball in. But Goulding saw him in acres of space out wide. And what a way to end that first half. So close to the try for Joey Hayes. But Goulding, the inspiration behind this St Helens team at the moment. And he's got some supporting acts around him too, with the youngsters and the experienced heads. But Paul Cullen, the new captain of Warrington, along with the new coach Clive Griffiths, they have big, big problems, and they need a miracle at half-time. The Saints in total control, 28-4. It was 36-0 on Thursday. Saints are on course again. So Warrington, a team with a lot of problems, get this second half of the Stones Bitter Centenary Championship match at Knowsley Road underway, trailing by 28 points to 4. And the big question now is, what words of wisdom has coach Clive Griffiths put into the minds of his side? Because it will take a miracle, surely, to get Warrington back into this match. A match that looked in the opening 10 minutes to be going perfectly their way, but then St Helens stepped on the gas and off they went again.
Well, they've got to point the finger at themselves, actually. 2 silly sin bins put them under a lot of pressure, and then, of course, when they had the man sent off, Finau was sent from the field. It was always going to be a problem.
Referee says play on. It's on the last tackle. Andy Haig dabs one to the corner, and Penny got to it. It bounced off Penny and went out. So that will surely be a scrum down with head and feet to St Helens. It's all going St Helens' way.
Well, you can see just a lack of confidence there. In games past, Lee Penny would have gone down with a lot of vim and vigour onto that football. Just hesitated enough. They really are in a lot of problems psychologically.
Northey wasn't the best pass from Carl Hammond. Here now is O'Loughlin. The news, by the way, of the two injured players for St Helens, that's Matautia and Pickavance. They have aggravated old injuries, and they must now be rated doubtful for the final next Saturday. 10 metres away from the line, Goulding, not the best pass. The first mistake of the afternoon from Goulding, and Mike Ford gets the possession back for Warrington. Here's Mark Forster.
Could this be the green light? St
Offside.
Helens.
First penalty for Warrington in the match. 42 minutes gone, and Saints concede their first penalty, and that for offside.
Lack of composure there. Carl Hammond being deemed not to have made any attempt to get back to 10. Well spotted by the referee there. Well, is this a green light that Warrington need? Apart from the first 10 minutes, they have been woeful. They have not respected possession. They have not worked as a team.
Mike Ford, Yestin Harris looks for the runner, and the runner was Lee Penny. Joey Hayes got a hand to him, brought him down. Northey, Vivers and then Hayes again combined to end the run from the fullback. Cullen to Shelford. Shelford takes over. He finds Courier. Courier back to Shelford. Good tackling, Scott Gibbs. Thursfield goes into dummy half. Here's Mike Ford. He looks for the runner. It's Ian Knott. Cunningham's all round him. Perolini was there. So too Andy Hay. Thursfield again to Courier. Courier out the back door to Forster. Forster almost ends up in the crowd. It touched a hand in flight. Off the Saints man.
Well, I'm not so sure he got a hand to it. I think it hit the face. Yeah, well, a bit unlucky there. I think it's deemed that Forster's pass on the inside. Well, they're lucky to get away with that.
They get head and feet at the scrum. Harris puts a very inviting ball for Knott, but it was also pretty inviting for Northey too. Oh, and over the shoulder goes one as Penny tried to get Maffey over the line.
It was try time. The pass was far too high, right above the shoulder. Good run from dummy half though. The approach play this second half from Warrington has been good. It's just the final pass that has let them down. Chance gone begging there. Maffey would have scored, I'm sure.
Northey again, tackled by Harris. Danny Arnold under pressure from Harris. Well, the handling errors are level pegging. That's about all. The scoreboard is heavily in Saints' favour, and Cullen, he's saying, I got the shoulder. He's convinced he's innocent, but what will David Campbell and his touch judge, what will their decision be?
Well, he certainly went on the shoulder to start with, and I don't think that he finished off on the neck. And you see there grabbing the shirt, perhaps just at the last moment. Either way, Kieran Cunningham not too pleased about taking a run on the blind side. Well, he's a fiery character. Is the new Warrington skipper, Paul Cullen. Crowd don't like it. A very relieved Warrington skipper. And I think it was just a pull back at the last moment. Certainly no swinging arm involved. It was a grab, and then just at the last minute pulled him down. Definitely not sending off material.
The word from the referee, David Campbell, is to Warrington to keep these tackles lower. And as that tackle went in from John Thursfield, David Campbell again saying to him, keep the arm low. Well, how long will his patience last?
Well, he made his point, didn't he, when he sent off the centre, Finau.
Cunningham. And he's bundled into touch eventually. Strong challenge on him by Maffey and by Harris.
Poor play from the hooker on that occasion, trying to do too much on that blind side. He got one for his corner, did Cunningham on the far side, and then gets thrown into touch. It's vital now that Warrington do get it together quickly and get points on the board. It's just that little bit of a breakthrough, scored a try, restored a little bit of confidence.
Cullen. Oh, and drilled into the ground, Paul Cullen. It was a super tackle that. Andy Northey getting a little bit of his own back.
Well, it's taken plenty with the centre Andy Northey. That was a superb tackle.
Oh, not the best pass though. Harris loses it, and Goulding thinks he's going away for a try, but he did get a hand to it.
Knock on, without any doubt, and he knows it.
Did he try and con the referee? Never.
Not if the orange mouth guard could take away the big grin from his face. He knows that he got the fingertips to that. But he's given it the other way.
First knock on belonged to Warrington. So that's why Saints got the head and feed. So if Goulding could have taken it in cleanly, it would have been try time. Lovely run from Hammond. Great strength. Hammond towards the corner. Support is there, but an awful pass. Nothing that Andy Haig could do about that.
Good play by Foster there. He put himself between the support play, and there you see he got a fingertip to it. That saved a certain try. Well played, Mark Foster. He knows it too, but what a great run from Carl Hammond.
Phil Vivers, Steve-O, was on his inside there and was screaming for the ball to be fed the other way, because Vivers is on the verge of a milestone for himself, 100 career tries. Saints are in possession though, courtesy of the knock-on by Foster. Danny Arnold disappears.
Well, we haven't seen Bobby Goulding explode for a while. Will this be it?
Here he is. And there's Perolini. Vivers the dummy half. Substitute is Matheson. Warrington desperate defence. Mark Jones taking a while to get off the grounded player. Goulding gets it away to Haig. Andy Haig is so close again. Thursfield was holding on to Andy Haig's neck then. Goulding, rubber kick across the face, and Ian Knott was taking no chances.
That just shows you the lack of confidence running through this Warrington side. Knott deciding not to make sure that he pick up the football and try to get it into the field of play. So the easy option, let's get out of here. It has not been Warrington's week. 28-4.
And understandably they're in no great hurry to get this game restarted with the dropout from under the sticks. Wearily almost, Yestin Harris puts boot to ball, finds the halfway line, and Danny Arnold will run it back. Well, Warrington must feel like King Canute, because every time they get the ball up to halfway, it comes hurtling back at them.
Biggest problem with the scoreline for St. Helens is that the players sometimes just go into their shell, maybe have their minds on Saturday's final, but that's when injuries can come about. They really have got to keep going at 100 miles an hour.
Mark Jones looking to get away with a no flop then. Goulding, that ball went forward. The referee says play on, and Gibbs gets the try. But that bounced off of St. Helens' hand and went forward. And he's given it the referee. David Campbell had a look at the touch judge, and the touch judge said it was a knock-on, so no try.
Well done. Well done, the referee and the touch judge. There's no point in celebrating. He's bringing it back. Bobby Goulding said, you're kidding. He thought he'd got away with it. Bounced away, and it definitely went forward there, off Perolini's fingertips to Scott Gibbs. Well done by David Campbell, though, to make sure that let it play on. It did go forward from Perolini to start with. Well done, the touch judge over on the far side.
That's right, the referee waved play on, but then had second thoughts. Well done to him. This is Shelford, tracked all the way by O'Loughlin. Matiaki Maffei is the dummy half, and that's Mike Ford. And here's Mark Hilton taking on Arnold, who went low, and he made the job of getting through him almost impossible. Thursfield to Ford. Ford dabs it through. That bounced off a knee, but the referee says Saints were all offside.
see that the second row, Simon Booth, had moved up exceptionally quickly.
Taking a quick penalty. Held up over the line. Mark Jones.
Yes.
It will be Warrington's head and feet at the resulting scrum.
Good charge from the Welshman there, but also great defence. Make sure that he couldn't get the ball down. It was good play there by Warrington. Mike Ford combining with Mark Hilton, the inside pass. At least they have not thrown the towel in.
Ford to Courier, and there's Harris. Harris gets two. Something at last for the Warrington crowd to shout about. Yestin Harris, the Saints defence just melted away. And that try is given by referee David Campbell. Second for Yestin Harris today, then.
You've got to take your chances. It was brought about by two good runs, first from Hilton, then from Mark Jones. And it was a nice little dummy there. Scott Gibbs went sailing into the man who he anticipated would get the football. You see Scott Gibbs go wide out there. There was nothing they could do about it. It was a nice little dummy. Probably one of the easiest tries he's scored for some time, but you'll see Scott Gibbs come right out of it. There it is. He's taken the second rower, Ian Knott, without the football, whilst that man was planting the four-pointer down.
So Yestin Harris now has the opportunity to improve the 4 points that he has just scored. 28 points to 8 at this point. Try from Harris in each half. And this time the conversion is good. So Yestin Harris has 10 points, so do Warrington, but the Saints have 28.
See how Scott Gibbs has committed himself and the gap opens up. Nice little shimmy there, the beautiful balance of the standoff. Yestin Harris, well, that surely would lift their confidence. They needed it badly. Who knows? Another quick try. The nerves could start to unfold on the Saints side.
So Yestin Harris, scorer of all 10 Warrington points, restarts the match. Underneath it is Apollo Perolini. Gets away from the despairing dive from Cullen, then brushes Courier away, brushes another away. Strong, brave run from Apollo Perolini.
Good run indeed, but you've got to go low on a big fella like that. We saw 5 would-be tacklers from Warrington just clawing at him above the shoulder. You've got to get the legs.
Beavers grounded 11 metres inside his own half on the third tackle. Goulding. Not seen anything from him second half. Now we have. And he wants the ball kicked deep. Does Joey Hayes. It's a race for Hayes. Great try! Super try from Joey Hayes, who called for that ball to be clipped into the corner. It's his second for Hayes. 17 tries this season. And the big smile and the hug for his captain says it all.
Beautiful vision by Bobby Goulding. He threw the dummy. Thursfield couldn't get anywhere near him. But this is where the brain starts to tick over. No passage through. Puts the ball into the corner. Oh, that is tremendous stuff. That is Champagne Rugby League football. It's pretty to watch. Through the dummy. Thursfield and Jones. This is where the grey matter starts to get clear. Beautiful weighted kick. Determination run by the winger. Oh, I could sit and watch that all night. That is tremendous stuff.
Joey Hayes, a great try from him. 15 tries in 17 appearances for Saints before today, and now he's grabbed 2 more. And Bobby Goulding with the conversion attempt from far out on this touchline. Difficult angle for him, but he's certainly in good kicking form at the moment. In fact, he is in wonderful kicking form, and Saints are in a purple patch. 34 points to 10.
Today.
St Helens 34, Warrington 10. as if stung by the try from Iestyn Harris, St Helens with an immediate reply. Wonderful try from Joey Hayes in the corner. 34-10. And Warrington, Steve-O, now looking weary indeed. It's been a long, hard campaign for them. And when you're playing like this and getting on the back of the second heavy defeat in just 3 days, well, you, I would think, would be excused for waiting desperately for the final siren.
Yeah, it must be playing on their minds, but let's not take anything away from St Helens. That was a beautiful try. Great run from Bobby Goulding. A little bit high there. I think you'll find it's on the shoulder. And the second rower, Simon Booth, looked straight at the referee. David Campbell said, "I know, I'm sorry, sir, either way." Well, Clive Griffiths, he will have plenty to, shall we say, mull over in the next few days.
Alongside Clive Griffiths there, Roy Lester passing the messages down to the trainer's bench. Certainly when Booth came in with that high challenge on Harris, all the Warrington arms went up. They all appealed for the penalty which was forthcoming. Harris in a wrestling match with Carl Hammond and company. Ford used Jones as the decoy runner and then dropped it.
He's furious, is Mike Ford. He wanted someone to come on the inside, but all he had was Jones there, and they stopped running. Just completely lost it. The team spirit, the coordination, trying to get the ball out wide, but you could see there it was good defence in the end that applied the pressure.
They've made 12 handling errors. That was the 12th to St Helens' 7th. Scott Gibbs disappears under the challenge. Harrison not. Northey. Oh, great strong run from Northey. Bounced through the challenges. Penny's after him. Penny gets to him eventually. But what a great run and a great tackle that was.
Great football, defence and attack. He caught one for his corner from Jones. I thought Jones was lucky to get away with that. Maybe David Campbell will have a few words to say on the run. Cullen really put the shoulder behind that one. Cunningham felt it.
Here's Goulding. Goulding trying to fool Iestyn Harris, who wouldn't be shrugged off. Hammond. Hammond dabs it through. Hammond! Oh, and it was lucky that Lee Penny came across and got the boot to it.
Good play by the standoff Hammond there. He's had a fine game. Just beaten to it by Lee Penny. But what a great break. Andy Northey, he's been in the wars all day. He ducked under one from Jones, but good defence from Lee Penny.
It's going to be a Warrington dropout from underneath the posts. They are wanting to make a change. And Paul Barrow is going to come on. And it's going to be Mark Jones who will go off.
Well, that doesn't surprise me. I think Clive Griffiths realises that Mark Jones was lucky to get away with the swinging arm when Andy Northey just went underneath it. And I think he realises perhaps it's better off to change a man rather than run the risk of him being sent off.
This is Danny Arnold with the first run. So Barrow is on. And here now is Andy Haig. Just over an hour of this match gone. 20 minutes left for play. Cunningham bounces off one challenge. Gets the pass to Perolini. Perolini with all the strength in the world. Hayes, who's on a hat-trick, fires the pass to Hammond. Hammond out the back door to Northey, who, if he would have taken it in, would have surely scored. And he knows it.
He couldn't believe it, Andy Northey, that the ball was slipped up there. Beautiful play by Hammond. There was no one at home. Oh, beautiful pass. And he cannot believe it, Andy Northey. He could have made breakfast, cooked the eggs and bacon, and still got over. All the time in the world. He won't get an easier chance than that ever in his rugby league career, should I say.
Maffey with the run. Ford was the dummy half. Cullen going nowhere. Northey has had a sensational game. And Steve-O, remember, Northey probably in the side because Paul Newlove is out injured. If Newlove's back for the final, what a dilemma for Eric Hughes.
Sure is, but what a dilemma to have. You've got great players like that. Oh, that's poor play. Barrow never really wanted that football. See that, you could see that the on-rushing defence, it was Cunningham that had him lined up. There's a lot of work to be done, I'm afraid. It's just amazing to think that within the space of a week, a Warrington side, full of confidence, the youngsters playing so well, have just fallen apart.
Goulding hands on, takes the tackle. Vivas, dummy half. That's the substitute, Paul Matheson. He came on in that Wigan match on Boxing Day. Saints well ahead in terms of possession again. Goulding weaving the magic. Perolini surrounded. Cunningham again the dummy half to Goulding, his captain. Hammond, they'll spread it wide further to Arnold, and the ball bounced off a Warrington man.
Maffey came in off the wing. That'll be deemed as the first knock on. He had to do that well. You see the fingertips there on the left hand. It's try time also. Joey Hayes sniffing for yet another 4-pointer, but well played by Maffey.
Well, they're playing with 12 men after Celeste Finau was sent off in the first half. It's been pressure all the way from St Helens, and here's more now from Vivas. Out of the back door, the piece is picked up inevitably by Goulding, and he is tackled by Paul Barrow. Goulding wearily gets to his feet. It's been a punishing, truncated season, this. We had the month off for the World Cup, and these players are absolutely worn out. And I think the referee has seen a short shot right hook from Lee Penny, and the referee's going to the back pocket.
Well, he's got to send him off.
He's gone.
He's got to. Right in front of the referee. A scoreline of 34-10. That is just sheer stupidity on the part of Lee Penny.
The second Warrington man to take the walk. He has a look at the scoreboard, sees it's 34-10, sees that there's still 18 minutes to go. And what on earth was Lee Penny thinking about here?
You just cannot believe it. You talk about players losing the plot. They get paid big money to do this. They get paid it to play rugby league football. And it gets worse for Clive Griffiths.
It gets better for Bobby Goulding. The big, wide, orange-mouthed smile, 36 points to 10. And Warrington now will play out the rest of the match with 11 players. And Clive Griffiths must think that he's been run over by a double-decker bus.
But these are so-called professionals, and what Lee Penny did there was unforgivable.
Steve-O, I've waited 64.5 minutes. The people all around this ground, as we came in, were questioning your prediction that Warrington would be the team to take over Wigan. What say you now?
I still think they will if they get themselves sorted out psychologically. They do have the talent, they've got the youngsters there, but they've got to respect possession, and they've got to start getting used to the plot, not losing it.
And to your eternal credit, you also said at the start of the season that St Helens would push Wigan very close. Well, St Helens are going to push them close, I fancy, next weekend in the Regal.
Well, on this performance, they've got to feel pretty confident about it.
Harris, support is there from Cullen. This is better from Warrington. Maffey, will he mark his debut with a try? Not if the St Helens defence has anything to do about it. That was a great effort on the last tackle. Warrington taking the gamble and running it.
Sure was. Good work from Cullen. But great scrambling defence from St Helens. At 36-10, many aside perhaps would have said, oh, OK, the game's over. But they scrambled back, and it was Carl Hammond again. He's worked tirelessly as the standoff.
That's number 16, Brian Catewell, on for St Helens on his debut. This, though, is Cunningham. An almighty collision between Harris and Cunningham. Both men just pick themselves up and get on with it. Goulding.
Harris just used the shoulder. There was nothing against the rules on that one.
Kick downfield. Just turns Warrington round. But Goulding, if ever a player is at the top of his form, it's Bobby Goulding at the moment. And I fancy, you know, he will be relishing the opportunity to tangle once again with his great rival, Shaun Edwards.
Let's hope he can bounce back to great form when it matters. So often in the past, Bobby Goulding has just gone to sleep on the big moments in the big match. Let's hope that he goes in next week with a lot of enthusiasm. He's played well today, he's marshalled his troops well. Good kicking game. He really has come of age now, hasn't he?
He has, and the captaincy this season has done him the world of good. 36-10. Well, Warrington will take consolation from the fact they've got 10 points today, where they got none on Thursday. But they look like they have totally and completely lost their rudder here.
Well, Yustinar is trying to keep the ball alive. First field, fingertip, knock on.
They're giving Bobby Goulding a rest, bearing in mind what's to come at the weekend. Phil Waring will come on for him. But the little man gets a standing ovation. And my, how he richly deserves it. So Phil Waring, the Academy International and the scrum half himself, comes on. Just giving him a spell, letting him have the last 12 minutes of this match off, bearing in mind what's to come.
Good move from the coach, Eric Hughes, there. He really is the linchpin, the key person in this St Helens side. No point in leaving him out there for the remaining minutes and perhaps run the risk of losing his cool. It's been a tough match out there.
It has. This is Perolini. Round the corner. Arnold picked that up brilliantly. What a great tackle back by Ian Knott. Scott Gibbs wants to get on with it quickly. Hammond is there. They're loading up out wide. Hammond mightn't need them. Oh, the tackling was awful. And Hammond scores. Well, Hammond, it was rich reward for him because he's had a fine game too. But I must say, the Warrington defence, they must look at the video here. They didn't really lay a hand on him. He was able to duck under the challenges and get to the line.
Well, it was always going to come about, wasn't it? It was a great break. Perolini shows a lot of strength and speed there. Back on the inside. Oh, he did very well, did the fullback, Danny Arnold. Kept his cool. But he's played well, hasn't he, Carl Hammond? Inside and outside. They're a very tired outfit now. Remember, Warrington, 2 players have been sent off. It was always going to be an uphill struggle when they lost their first man sent off, Finau. But good play by Carl Hammond. He's had a fine game.
Yes, Carl Hammond, the man that they prized away from Widnes for £85,000 earlier this season in September. Another great buy. Hammond and Newlove, 2 terrific bargains almost. Well, is Newlove a bargain at that sort of money, but 2 tremendous signings by this St Helens club. Capewell then, on his debut, signed just a year ago, and he now taking the goal-kicking responsibilities. Signed a year ago from local football, this young man. He's only 18, and a chance here to mark his debut with the first points of his professional career in the big league. That he does. Brian Capewell adds the extra 2. St Helens 42, Warrington 10. Carl Hammond, £85,000, and Steve-O, in these days of inflated transfer fees, that was the bargain. Perhaps Newlove wasn't, but perhaps Hammond is.
Well, he's played well, hasn't he? He's worked very, very hard indeed. It's a good combination between Bobby Goulding, and that really is a key factor in any team's success. They've worked hard in the link, and they've also worked hard in defence. Got through a lot of work as the stand-off, Hammond.
Just 10 minutes to go, and the 11 men of Warrington, 2 sent off. Earlier, 2 men in the sin bin. So it has been a hard slog, but they've made it hard for themselves.
Yes, they've lost a lot of composure. Impetuous play. Silly penalties were being given away. I must say, though, You've got to give full credit to the merry whistleblower, David Campbell. It's been a very difficult match to referee, and I think he's done a fine job today.
Well, there was a stage in the first half, but it looked like he was going to lose it completely, but he stamped on it, didn't he? Got it sorted out.
He let it go for quite some time, and then he went straight in the pocket when he sent off Finau. That got the message across. Been a fine game.
Well, the first thing that Clive Griffiths must preach to his charges at training this week is discipline.
Yep, and also get the tackle bags out. There's been some indifferent attempts to tackle.
Penalty. Paul Cullen wouldn't let the grounded man get to his feet.
Well, there isn't much he could do about it. I think perhaps that Kevin O'Loughlin milked that to its full extent. Well, what a start to be a new skipper. His first game on Thursday against Saints, 80 points, and look at the scoreline now, 42-10.
And perhaps worse to come. Perellini.
But he's a man that'll dig deep, Paul Cullen. He won't give the ghost away, he'll keep at it.
Hammond again, working the 1-2 with Waring. There's a little pass inside, and Arnold gets the try, and it's his second. His 9th try of the season, Danny Arnold. 2 tries on Thursday, 2 tries today.
Good teamwork. It's all about working for each other. You can see the dummy run around again. Hammond inside. Got the ball to Scott Gibbs, and the full-back. Nothing better than to chime in there. Really is the start of the future, Danny Arnold. But look how they're working for each other. Hammond did the run around through the dummy. It's all about dummy runners and working for each other. Good support. That's a fine try. Notice how they do, they work it. See how the substitute there, Phil Waring, sucks in the defence. Scott Gibbs offloads, and the support. Big smile. He's every right to have a grin on his face. He's had a fine game.
He has indeed, and remember the great tackle he put in on margin of fire on Boxing Day when the Saints reserve team took on Wigan in the last Boxing Day fixture between those two. Danny Arnold, only 18, and he's another one for the future. As is Brian Capewell. That's 2 out of 2 for the young substitute, and St Helens are creeping up to the half-century again.
Good run around. There you can see 3 defenders going for Phil Waring. Once he gets the ball to Hammond, they were always going to be in a lot of trouble. Good play. Gibbs on the inside. Arnold finishes it off well. This really will boost their confidence for the big game on Saturday.
Sure will. Maffey with the run for Warrington from the kick-off. Paul Cullen, by the way, has now left the scene. He has been replaced by the man in possession now, Andy Bennett. So Cullen off, Bennett on. Thursfield's the dummy half.
It's important now that St Helens, and I'm sure that their coach Harry Hughes will have got the message out, do not let Warrington score. We've got to show that we can defend strongly right the way to the end.
Harris, 2 tries already from him. Strong defence from Northey. Harris claiming the ball was stolen, and the referee agreed. That little option, Northey had hold of it.
He just dragged it down the left arm. Harris appeals to Campbell, comes to it. Now then, what have Warrington got up their sleeve? Over the past 2 seasons, they've pulled off some great crisscross moves with Shelford. Will they set up for that one now? That's where they go open and then bring someone back on the blind side.
Thursfield, the dummy half. He finds Paul Barrow, drives it in straight up the middle. Shelford now is coming into the picture, but they've gone for Ford and then Harris and then Courier.
Well, I'm afraid that is a sign of a team who has completely lost it. No one running onto the football, no enthusiasm whatsoever. It was just static football.
Little Andy Bennett, second row on Thursday. Second row now, replacing his captain, Ford, that bounced off of St Helens' hand. But Danny Arnold swept up the pieces.
Well, at least the option was good from Ford, but another run from Cunningham.
Great run from Cunningham. This could be a length of the field effort. Cunningham all the way, and Warrington won't catch him. Breathtaking try from Kieran Cunningham. And St Helens past the half-century mark. Cunningham picked that up, and Warrington were left trailing in his wake.
Well, that takes it over to 130 points that Warrington have conceded. But what a tremendous run by the hooker. He really has been a great player this season. Super stuff. Cunningham sets sail for the line. He pins the ears back. Sit back and enjoy.
Kieran Cunningham, and did you notice that the two closest players to Kieran Cunningham when he put that ball down were in the blue and white stripes of St Helens? Cunningham left Warrington trailing. Well, Capewell, 2 out of 2, and here he is going for 3 out of 3. Just a slight delay while Capewell remakes the little mountain of sand. And it's 54 points for St Helens, 10 for Warrington. An aggregate 134-10 in 2 matches.
This is a sign of a very tired defence. You could see Free there trying to prop up the gap. And once he came back on the inside, there was just no one at home. Tremendous run. Great stuff.
Perolini has come off. That's the applause in the background, because Perolini just takes a welcome breather with a couple of minutes of this match left to play. And with Warrington down to 11 men, the Saints, even though they've run out of substitutes, they've used all 4 of theirs. They can afford the luxury of bringing Perolini off and playing out the final couple of minutes or so with 12 men themselves. Harris, he's tried hard. Look at him looking round then for support, and there was nothing there, nothing forthcoming for him at all.
They've just run out of gas completely. Well, he's given offside.
And I thought that Ford had passed it to him.
So did I. Well, a funny one there.
Oh, there was a Saints player in there, number 14, Phil Waring, got a hand to it. Yep.
Well spotted by David Campbell.
That, Steve-O, is why he's in the middle and you and I are up here.
He's welcome.
Absolutely. Saints have got it back. Cunningham. Well, nothing for Andy Haig then, only a pat on the head.
Well, I'm not so sure that Andy Haig will be too happy with the pass there from Cunningham.
Well,
says it all, doesn't it?
It's going to say every picture tells a story. Clive Griffiths, the Warrington coach, not the start he would have wanted. He has the job till the end of the season. Presumably then Warrington will look at the situation again, but unfortunately for Griffiths, all Warrington's matches between now and the end of the centenary campaign are away from home.
Won't be easy for them. And the talk around Warrington yesterday was the fact that they think that perhaps Clive Griffiths will get the nod for the Super League season. I'm not so sure after this one that Clive Griffiths may want it.
Do you fancy a change of career, Steve-O?
That's only a rumour, Eddie, only a rumour. You know you should never believe those. But perhaps it may be the time that Warrington come clean, have a new face there.
Bennett, he gets there for the try. Consolation, and that is all for Warrington and Andy Bennett. And even the Warrington supporters behind the posts over there, who deserve medals for turning up today, they have gone pretty quiet too.
Full credit for them. Is a good run from Shelford. There's the substitute Bennett. Looks like the moving jelly baby, doesn't he? He really has beefed up, this fella. It was a good work by Shelford. Nice step from Bennett. In he goes. Tremendous stuff. Well, they haven't given in, have they? They knew it was going to be hard, down to 11 men. Determination. Super stuff.
Well done, Andy Bennett, for keeping it going. The conversion on the way from Iestyn Harris. And he doesn't find the mark, Harris, with the conversion. 54-14. It's consolation for Warrington, nothing else. But Steve, I must ask you, what is a moving jelly baby?
The boy that's just scored. There he is. A handsome one, I might add. He's a good player, but he really has beefed up in the off-season. One of the very good youngsters that they have at Warrington. All they need to do now is get things sorted out in the brain box department. That's been their problem today. It was a good start from them. The opening 15 minutes, they gave it everything they had. But Saints have just been too strong, too fast, too powerful.
They have, and Warrington, who have won 7 and lost 9 of their league fixtures, could finish in the bottom 3 if results go against them between now and the end of the season. And that isn't a fair reflection of the season that they have had, really. St Helens, though, bang on in terms of confidence. Just playing out time now. Andy Haig taking the tackle from Mark Forster. And they will certainly go through to their final in good heart. Hammond keeps the ball alive. There's the siren. Warrington's agony of the past 3 days comes to a halt. St Helens high on confidence. Hammond played as well as anybody, the standoff half. But this St Helens team, having run in 14 tries on Thursday, managed another 8 here today. And young Danny Arnold got 2 of them. Young fullback with so much promise for the future. An excellent performance, and no one tried harder than this fellow, and what a try he gave us. Kieran Cunningham, St Helens 54, Warrington 14. Great win for St Helens then by 54 points to 14. They scored 14 tries on Thursday night, another 8 here today, and Bobby Goulding kicked 8 goals, Brian Capewell 3. Andy Northey wasn't on the score sheet, but my word, didn't he have a great game? Andy, Steve-O said in that match you would probably finish up black and blue. You got some treatment, didn't you?
Early on I got a couple of nice balls, man and ball with Celeste Fino. I got a couple of big hits, certainly. And can't be... I was glad to see him go, to be honest.
But it was that sort of match. I mean, Warrington would always come here and try and compete with you. Let's be fair and use that word.
Well, that's it. I mean, after our performance on Wednesday, it was a freak performance. Was it Thursday? Yeah, Thursday. We knew it was going to be hard. We were really in a bit of a no-win situation, really. Just a case of being professional and coming up with another win. And 50 points obviously was a bonus, but we're just glad to go away from here with a win.
There's a certain shadow of a man called Newlove, of course, hanging over all the centres here at Warrington. And you're giving Eric Hughes a bit of a problem, aren't you?
Well, I mean, Paul Newlove, Scott Gibbs are 2 centres who are 2 international world-class centres. I'm filling the gap at the moment while Newey's injured. Well, filling the gap. I've got the shirt at the moment, but obviously Newey's going to be looking for a place. I'll just be happy with any shirt. I've had a couple of games in the forwards. If I've got a shirt on, I'm happy, really. I'm not bothered what number it is.
And the thing is, you've got this final coming up on Saturday. You look, the whole team that is, on top of your form.
That's it. I mean, we're certainly on top of our form. We're happy going in with a couple of wins, but I mean, it's Wigan we're talking about. We're going playing Wigan, so we've got to be on top of our game on Saturday. And you know, it was going to take a really big performance to turn Wigan over at McAlpine. But we'll be trying.
It's a great derby classes, Wigan and St Helens. You know, they're a great outfit, and they've got international players all over the field. But as long as my boys can go there and we can compete for 80 minutes, then hopefully, you know, the gods will be shining with us.
Well, you have tended to disappoint against Wigan in the past, haven't you? Certainly the recent past. There was so much expectation here in August.
Yeah, there was, and when the Sky cameras come down here in August, they turned us over with 50, 60 points. I don't know what it was. So we're out to make amends on that. But like I say, we're in a final now. and you know, hopefully we can give ourselves a good showing next weekend.
I mentioned the shadow of Paul Newlove hanging over Andy Northey and all the other centres here. You've got a fella called Sean Edwards who will not leave you alone on Saturday.
No, mate, no, it's going to be a totally different kettle of fish than Mike Ford. Sean's a tough competitor. But like I say, you know, I've just got to go out and I've got to concentrate on my own game. Like Sean Edwards has got to concentrate on his game. But like I say, if all our players have the same attitude as Andy Northey, we're not going to go far wrong, because the lad, Newlove's come here, and Andy Northey's just been magnificent with his professionalism.
I hope for the sake of rugby league that we go to the final and we give our best. And I know Sean yesterday said they were underdogs. Well, that's Sean. He's been to many finals, and he's obviously trying to gee up his own players. We know we'll go as very much second favourites, but we do feel that, as I say, if we go and we perform to the best of our ability on the day, we are capable of giving them a game, and I think the whole of rugby league needs that.
Well, Peter, you turned the new year in such great spirits. How do you feel at the end of the first week of 1996?
A bit shell-shocked at the moment. It was a bit of a disaster on Thursday. So there's been a few changes since then. Brian's finished. Clive took over today. I thought the lads put up a creditable performance. We're probably rather over-enthusiastic in lots of ways. And we, you know, the discipline let us down at the end of the day. Well, if it was discipline, I mean, but I find it very unusual to come to St Helens and go for sort of 40 minutes without getting a free kick. I mean, if you played St Trinian, you'd at least get a free kick in first half. Or, you know, we were up against it, I thought. We had 11 men for most of the game and 12 men, you know, for the other part of the game. So it's very difficult under the 10-metre rule when you've got 13 men, when you've got 12 points down. But I thought the lads, you know, gave it 100%, and we just, you know, we just have to get ourselves together over the next couple of weeks and take it on from there.
Now the statistics behind this St Helens victory, the team tackling equally shared. St Helens won the scrums 16-12, penalties went 13 to St Helens and 5 to Warrington. Warrington complaining about that penalty count at the end of the match. Warrington made far too many handling errors, and St Helens had the better of possession in each half. Now, St Helens held on for just 4 sets of 6, but remember, they ran in those 8 tries. Warrington held on for 12 complete sets, but they didn't do as much as St Helens did when they had the ball. Both teams made an average 38 metres every time they were in possession. So St Helens march on to their final in marvellous spirit. 134 points in 2 matches against Warrington. It really does tell its own story. Now they face the ultimate challenge of Wigan. But what on earth has happened to Warrington in the past few days? 1996 has not been very happy for them. Steve-O, where on earth do Warrington go from here?
Well, they've got to start from the bottom. No disrespect to Clive Griffiths, who's taken over as a coach. I think they've got to clear the decks. They've got to bring in a brand new person, new ideas, and start afresh. They've got the youngsters to work with. They came with a plan today. First 15 minutes, they worked hard. They wanted to make it really tough for St Helens, but then they became their own worst enemy. They had 2 guys sent to the sin bin, 2 guys actually sent off, says it all.
And for St Helens, well, as I say, they go to the ultimate challenge that is Wigan in the final at the weekend. Can they topple Wigan now?
I think they can if their forwards work very hard indeed. But we saw once again a St Helens of old. They allowed Warrington back in to score late tries. They've got to work hard on that with their defence. They've got to work hard to ensure that they keep pushing Wigan back. But if they can get the combination going, Bobby Goulding, Carl Hammond, I thought Hammond played very well today. I think if they can get that and get the ball out wide, they've got the firepower to perhaps come up with a shock.
Well, that's the match here at St Helens then. A great win for the Saints over Warrington for the 2nd time this week. Now, what else has happened in the big league today? Highlights on the way now from elsewhere.
Seize the day.
Castleford were put through an early morning training session in the build-up to this game, and they certainly started brightly enough, scoring after just 4 minutes. A well-worked move with quick hands from Tony Smith and Lee Crooks setting up Ian Smales. 5 minutes later, Castleford increased their lead. Great work here from Tawera Nikau. And again, Tony Smith was involved, this time sending Adrian Flynn away. Lee Crooks converted both those early tries and kicked a penalty to give his side a 14-0 lead. but Halifax began to fight back when Asa Amone dived over from close range. That was set up by teenage standoff Chris Chester, and he created an almost identical try for Mark Perrott, slipping past some weak tackling. That was Castleford's downfall in the second half, as they let Chester slip through their grasp to cut the deficit to just 2 points. But it seemed the Tigers had regained command 2 minutes later when Brendan Tutor and Adrian Flynn created a bit of space for winger David Furness to mark his debut with a well-taken try, just beating Amone's tackle. From the restart, Castleford went further ahead, Halifax's Damien Munro kindly tapping the ball into the path of Flynn, who bagged his second of the game, Richard Goddard converting to make it 26-14. Halifax hit back, Jackson and Perrott both doing well, Kettridge and Chester then putting Carl Gillespie in, Amone adding the goal to make it 26-20. With 5 minutes to go, Kettridge's chip ahead was collected by Damien Munro, who made up for his earlier error with a smart piece of finishing, Kettridge converting to level the scores. London Broncos travelled to Cumbria with a much-changed side. Half their Aussies are on a mid-season break, but they took the lead against Workington after 25 minutes when Ben Walker went close. From the play the ball, Ikram Butt slipped it on to Kevin Langer, who darted over. Workington coach Kurt Sorensen had boldly promoted 5 of his alliance side to the senior ranks, but it was 2 of his former London players who sparked off the fight back. Logan Campbell's chip dotted down by Mark Johnson. And 6 minutes later, smart thinking gave Dean Marwood a try to add to the 6 goals he kicked for Workington. On the hour, Campbell's super high ball was spilled by Broncos fullback John Scarfield, and it was Campbell who gleefully snapped up the loose ball. The youngsters did Workington proud. Another of them, John Allen, came off the subs bench to burst through and put the game well beyond the Broncos' reach. Still, London did manage to add a second try. The ball moved out wide, Scarfield doing well, and centre Sean Keating simply ambled over. But Workington weren't going to be denied their first win since mid-September. Marwood's well-placed kick to the corner, dotted down by Jason Palmada.
Now the results from the championship this weekend. Sheffield 19, Bradford 10 on Friday. Castleford 26, Halifax 26. The Saints 54, Warrington 14 here. And Workington 32, London 10. So Wigan still need a point to clinch their 7th title in a row. Leeds will be second again. St Helens, Halifax and Sheffield are battling it out for 3rd place. At the bottom, Workington ended an 11-match losing run to claim only their 3rd win of the campaign. Warrington, Bradford and London are tussling away to stay out of the bottom 3. Into the 1st division now, Dewsbury 14, Wakefield 16, Huddersfield 34, Featherstone 10, Hull 15, Salford 20, Keighley 12, Widnes 16, Rochdale 8, Whitehaven 15. And so in the 1st division, Salford's win at Hull clinched the title for them as Keighley slipped to their 4th defeat in 6. And Widnes's win at Cougar Park means that they're in line also for the runners-up spot. Down at the bottom, Whitehaven made it 4 unbeaten with their win at Rochdale, and they leapfrogged the Hornets in the table. To Division 2, here are the results. Barrow 8, Bramley 28, Carlisle 14, Hulkingston Rovers 20, Chorley 8, Hunslet 34, Highfield 28, Doncaster 41, Lee 36, York 24. Now, Hulkingston Rovers are almost there. Mathematically, like Wigan, they can be caught, but their points difference is worth almost a point to them, and they will be the champions. Down at the bottom, Doncaster beat Highfield, and Barrow lost for the 5th game in a row. Now, what's coming up on the big league? Boots and all on Tuesday at 10:30, we will reflect on the dramatic goings-on at Warrington over the past week. The loss of Brian Johnson as their coach, and that 80-0 defeat here at Knowsley Road on Thursday night. Back to the action on Friday. We're live and exclusive at Weldon Road for the Castleford Tigers against the Bradford Bulls. We'll be live from Weldon Road from 7 o'clock. And next Sunday, we'll be wrapping up Halifax against Warrington. We're exclusively at Thrum Hall next Sunday at 7. That's it, though, from Knowsley Road. Good luck to the Saints and Wigan in the final next week. Good night.